You're going to see more things sitting on shelves because just the glut is over.
Yeah, the popular period is done. Everyone's moved on to RTDs.
Yeah, you're still going to have your dorks,
of course.
And your nerds that are like, I want this. I want the newest Wild Turkey LE. I want this LE. I want this LE. Like, great, cool. Y'all go do that. But
this, as far as I'm aware, is the latest offering from the Licorice Brothers in Denison, Texas. Ironroot.
Big fans.
Cellar Reserve, triple cask finish, coming in a nice 107 proof.
Met him a few times, toured the distillery a few times, spent time with them, spent time with mom, spent time with dad. Like, good people. Good people. I know Nellie, who works for him, that she's phenomenal. Tyler works for him. He's phenomenal.
This one in particular is a blend of Texas, MGP, and Kentucky.
Yeah, so let's talk about Ironroot a little bit. So, let me get this out of here.
I'm referring to the Ironroot Promethean.
Yeah, so I'm already going to talk about this, but Ironroot, so they're not NDPs.
No, they are not.
So they distill their own product. They get their grains locally.
Denison is in North Dallas, by the way.
Yeah, it's like literally like a stone's throw away from the Oklahoma border.
Mm-hmm.
Like
you can smell it
from where we lived. It even took us an hour to get up there. Like it's right.
You gotta go on a journey.
It's right on the Red River, right? So Ironroot, they started up there. They've got a pot still. They've got a column still that sometimes they'll do their stripping runs on. But mostly it's going to be pot still. It's going to be typical Texas, like kind of corn whiskey. Now what Ironroot does, which is interesting, is where like in Kentucky, they mix their corn, their rye, their malted barley together. Put that in the mash, ferment it down with the yeast, and then that's what they distill. Well, what Ironroot does is they do individual grains. So they'll cook down their corn, distill it, cook down their rye, distill it, cook down their malt, and distill it. Age them separately in barrels, and then what they'll do is they'll come in and they'll blend X amount of corn barrels, X amount of rye barrels, X amount of malt barrels, right? So now the Promethean, this is closer to like Kentucky bourbon. Mm-hmm. Their Harbinger, which you and I both had, we've had it up at the distillery a few times. It's very good, but it's very corn forward, right? And then they came out with something called Sleight of Hand. That's the next brand under the umbrella, and that's going to be a mixture of their Harbinger, they source MGP, and they source Kentucky, which is Green River.
Yes.
Right. So this is their own product, kind of similar.
It's the Saints Alley,
which is
a Total Wine exclusive.
Yeah, for now. It's supposed to be everywhere under a different label at some point this year, but I think we're running out of time. But yeah, so this was their first collaboration where they kind of went out and they sourced MGP, they sourced Green River, but with this particular line, it's all about the finishing casks, right? So when we saw this a week ago, Cellar Reserve, we had to buy it. It says it's a triple cask, but it's I'm going to assume their Harbinger, right?
Most likely their Harbinger finished in French wine cask.
French wine, because if you don't know the background with Ironroot, they're cognac people.
Yeah.
Right. So Denison. This is going to be lame. So I'm sorry.
Make it less lame. Quick.
I know too much about Ironroot. So
Denison. Long story short.
There was a dude that was in Denison that grew a root for wine.
That is called Ironroot.
It was an iron root. So he was growing wine up in the Denison area.
And he imported it across the pond
in France, when they had their big disease thing with their wines that pretty much killed off most of their vines.
Yes.
They went to the dude in Denison 100, 200 years ago, whatever it was, be like, bro, can you help us out? And so he took his Denison vines, took them over to France, and basically blended them together and made them hardier and saved the whole French wine industry as far as that particular region. So
Yes.
so Denison and Cognac, France, are like sister communities.
Yes.
So like legally they are. So
You're right. That was lame. Continue.
so the Licorice Brothers, when they started doing this, they spent a lot of time in Cognac, France, and
Yes,
learned
they did.
a
There's
lot
some
of their a lot of their techniques on how they make cognac. They then came back to Denison, Texas, and implemented the same techniques into making their own Texas bourbons and whiskeys.
CEO.
Yeah.
Thank you for that what if altist moment in whiskey history.
Yeah, it's a lot. Y'all probably don't give a shit, which is fine, but I've got literally 3 pages of notes about what Ironroot does.
Jokes aside, it is a cool story.
Yeah.
They make good whiskey because even if they had a cool story, if they made a bad product, we tell you this is a good product.
No, they're phenomenal. Now let's get it. You mentioned it before we started talking.
Yes, before we started
Let's
rolling.
talk a little bit about Texas.
In many respects, this bottle, before we even taste it, is what we would consider the future of Texas whiskey, which is going to come to the annoyance of all of our diehard Texas fans.
Anybody that loves Texas, like OG Texas whiskey,
and OG Texas whiskey is very.
It's very man.
For those of you that don't,
It's so hot here.
For those of you that don't live here, it is the middle of December. It's currently 75 degrees outside.
Yeah, it gets hot as balls here. So Texas whiskey gets so. And anybody that's had it will tell you, if you had a Balcones product or the TX guys are a little bit different. We've been here long enough. I can tell you the difference between the two. But, for a lot of Texas whiskey, it can kind of come off very bitter. Mm-hmm. Just because the oak gets so hot this summer that not everybody can afford air-conditioned rig houses.
Because those are expensive.
Right, they're expensive. So Texas whiskey for most of the country, like outside of Texas, because Texas doesn't give a shit. Texas, like, if it comes from Texas, we love it. Our barbecue's the best. Our women are the best. Our whiskey's the best. Right, we don't give a shit. But for people outside of Texas,
Texas whiskey is very harsh.
It can be tough to assimilate to, right? Especially when you're used to Kentucky whiskey or bourbon. You're used to Indiana bourbon. Even what they're doing, like in Georgia and Alabama and Florida and other places in California,
even up in Oregon with like trails up.
Yeah, Utah, Oregon, yeah.
Notably, all those places are colder than here.
Well, with the exception of the South, the Southeast, Alabama and Mississippi and stuff, and Louisiana, but
they changed it up by doing it with
JT Mellick uses rice, right? So, but I personally think if the Texas whiskey people, if they want to branch out to a broader array of people,
rather than just the diehards,
this is the way to do it.
And so blend it with Kentucky and Indiana.
Yeah, so MGP, their Harbinger bourbon, right, which is predominantly corn, and then Green River out of Kentucky, and then they finished theirs, and I'm guessing it's theirs because there's no literature on it, but it's in wine barrels, like French wine barrels, which is a cognac thing, right?
And all three combined is
it's phenomenal. Yeah, we saw it last week and had to buy it, and came home and like, holy crap! Like it's just like red fruitish, but
very rich. The corn note does better when it has something else to play off of rather than being the focus.
I think so. Yeah.
Like that, it has the punch of Texas whiskey, but it has the sweetness of the other two to balance it out.
It's got a nice balance, right? You get that big corn punch, that spiciness, but then it's layered in dark fruit. Almost, we just did a review about this, but almost like stewed.
Yeah.
Like dark cooked fruits. What's the proof on it? Do you know?
Yeah, I do. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, I can't see without my glasses.
107.
100. So it drinks spicier than a 107 proof.
Certainly. probably to do with the Texas influence because the heat makes it a little more aggressive.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Nope, it's a great bottle. It's a great bottle, and it plays off of the strengths of Texas whiskey rather than leaning into what would make it less approachable.
Now, here's the thing. No age statement, right? So I'm going to guess it's going to be on a total of 4 to 6 years, right?
Which makes sense given the Texas influence because, spoiler alert, you can't age things for very long here.
No, Texas will definitely overpower things. But the play between Texas, MGP, and Kentucky, the wine finish is an absolute treat.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So I think it's what they were doing with the Saints Alley. Oh, this bottle's all signed.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah. Cool. We had a couple signed bottles, or that bottle signed. That's cool. Yeah, it's what they were doing with that, with different types of finishes, but to do it with a wine finish, man, it's super good. And I think if you're not a Texas fan, right, and you see this, because our local store still had 2 of them, and last week they had 4.
Well, most people
they
just don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a really good whiskey.
And it shouldn't be misunderstood. Texas whiskey, like straight Texas whiskey, can still be extremely interesting. However, it is hard to approach.
It's just different.
It's really for the connoisseur because you have to be willing to meet it where it is.
Yeah, that's what I always told people at the store. Like, if you're a whiskey nerd and you can sit down and I used to tell them when they would buy either Ironroot or Still Austin or something like that, I'm like, don't think about Kentucky bourbon.
No.
Don't think about bourbon that you're used to.
Because you'll be disappointed.
This is just
think of it.
Yeah, it's different. But it's just different. And
it's like taking a bite into a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and finding out right then and there that it's Nutella instead of peanut butter.
Or tuna fish.
Yeah, tuna fish,
Yeah, but if you go into it knowing that you're going to get Nutella.
Then you can meet it where it's at.
Right. And I'm a huge fan of Ironroot, obviously.
They do great work. Love their warehouse. Good family. This is a phenomenal product. This might be my favorite thing that they put out.
I think I would agree. Yeah,
I quite like this Saints Alley finish, but
this is the Armagnac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one I think takes the cake.
Yeah, that to me is like a perfect blend of.
It's a real harmony.
Yeah, they make great stuff, but like I said, you have to be open-minded, and I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just. You just have to not think of Kentucky whiskey or Kentucky bourbon and just, this is Texas bourbon. Let's see what it is. Because when we went up there for the work event, right, and we did the whole tasting with, the Licorice Brothers with their mom, and we had the whole sheet and
all the little things.
The little accoutrement, we're sampling it, and we can pick all this shit out, and it's super cool, but if you're just an average drinker or you're just, let's try it, and you don't have any idea, and you're thinking you're going to drink a Woodford Reserve.
Whereas this particular bottle is the most approachable that they have.
I think so. Just because it's got the perfect blend of Texas, MGP with Indiana, and Kentucky. And then aged in French oak casks, or French wine barrels. It's like, what's not to like, right?
Here's hoping that this becomes a regular offering, and if you find it in your local liquor store, pick it up. You won't be disappointed.